is Joan. I'm covering the end of Sura 13 in the Quran. Before I do, and that's verses 17 to 43. Before I do, I'm going to just read this part. It's in verse 30. It says to recite it to the community. It's God's message. Allah, you are my Lord. There is no God but you. To you I give my trust and repentance. And I agree with that because I decided I don't understand a God that would want a person intoxicated routinely. This mostly covers what is already covered in many verses before, that if you're righteous, if you try to do what you're supposed to, if you pray regularly, practice charity, then you're rewarded. But if you don't believe in God and you mock the message, that's a doomed path. But I'm going to read verbatim from my notes. Also, this section is entitled Thunder, which is RA''D. And I thought I'd cover some interesting facts because that is what makes the awe of God, His creation, everything that He's put together. So what I liked about it and learned, or also I wanted to share what's happened to me. One time I was fishing with my ex-husband at the time we were married, and lightning struck keys that got really close to it. If it didn't strike it directly, that were on the ground when it was stormy. We were close too. We were within a couple feet, but we didn't get hurt. Also, I've been in a thunderstorm on a plane before. I was a little worried. I didn't understand metal and water, but I went online and it said that planes are uniquely made so that if that happens, the front where the pilot is would take the most serious part of the strike, and the inside passengers are protected. And then, I did want to mention one time I was at work and I watched lightning circle a water tower. That was pretty cool. It was just a lot of lightning. But it says that lightning is 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times hotter than the sun. It's also hotter than lava. And it can be seen in many colors like a rainbow, but it's rare. And they noted green, black, purple, blue, and this pink color, it said, happens during a snowstorm, and the article was written by Chris Michaels in 2018, and it happened, the people said, at WSLS 10, and they explained that for it to change color, it has nitrogen or oxygen in the air. There's also something called circular or ball lightning, and it says that you should definitely unplug electrical appliances during a storm. I know that we don't, so maybe that would be a good idea. One time during a storm, I did have all my data get knocked off my computer. It says that if lightning is close, the usual color is white. And it says, thunder is lightning passing through the air. It's cloud to ground, but it's seen as ground up. The chances of getting hit by lightning are 1 in 15,000. And I wondered, can you really live through it? Because if it's that temperature, I don't understand. But it says that, yes, 270 people in the United States yearly have gotten hit by lightning, and only 10% of those die. So I guess it does happen. As far as the verses in the end of this Sura 13, verse 17 says, Allah is a perfect example of truth. It also said the perfect example of falsehood. I don't understand how that got worded, but anyway, I thought I would say that it did. I don't know. Maybe you can explain it to me. In verse 18, it says, for atheists will have the worst reckoning. Their possessions won't help them. Verses 19 to 21, that it's best to fear God and dread judgment. Verse 22, seek God, pray regularly, repel evil with good. Use what you are given with Him in mind. Verse 23, the righteous will be blessed. Verse 24, if you violate a promise to Allah after pledging to keep it, and sever what Allah has commanded to be joined, and spread corruption on earth, those people, a curse will be upon them. They will have the worst home. In verse 26, all we have is from God. Verse 27 to 29, for those who do righteous deeds, for them is happiness. Verse 30 says, recite to the community, and that's what I mentioned. Turn my notes over. Allah never breaks a promise is in verse 31. Every decision should rest with Allah. Disaster will strike disbelief. Verse 32 says, maybe messengers are ridiculed, but disbelief will be seized. Verse 33 to 36, it says, say, I am commanded to worship Allah and to never associate any equal to Him. He invites me to Him and I'll return to Him. In verse 37, this is something new, kind of. It's talking about the Arabic code of law, and it says that they have revealed it. If you follow other desires after having the knowledge of it, you would have no ally nor defender against Allah. In verse 38, it says, messengers are sent and allowed to marry. A sign from God is given permission from Allah. And in verse 39 to 40, it says, it's a duty to inform the public. In verse 41, Allah judges and nothing can hold Him back. His judgment, He is quick to settle accounts. And in verse 42 to 43, it instructs you to say, Allah is a sufficient messenger.